Hey folks, it's Carl at Sterling Health and Fitness. So we're here with my special guest, Ariana Rabinovitch, talking about yoga. And in this final segment of this series, we're going to talk about something I've been dying to learn about. Actually, we touched on it earlier off camera. But I want to make sure that she has a chance to talk about 3D breathing. Can you enlighten us and share with us about this? This is really cool.
Yeah, so I'm not sure where to start, but it's not a traditional yoga breath technique. Mm-hmm. It's a technique that I've learned from various sources, and they include Sue Hitzman's MELT method. She does this exercise on a soft foam roller, not a hard foam roller, a very long one. Also, Evan Osar talks a lot about three-dimensional breathing, and I've read so many articles about it. Postural Restoration Institute talks about it a lot too, PRI. But it's basically how our bodies should be able to move as we breathe. And it's not that we have to breathe three-dimensionally all the time, because most of the time we're not thinking about our breath and it's happening automatically and the breath will be more shallow. But when you focus
like mine are again right now.
But breath is cool in that it happens when you're not thinking about it. Mm-hmm. And then when you do think about it, you can make change to it. So you have some control over it. So the 3D breath exercise, I usually do it lying down at the start of every group class that I do. I do it with my private clients too. Mm-hmm. So you're lying down so that you're not working to keep your spine long. If you're sitting up, there's a lot of muscular effort and to maintain the posture. And posture and breath are very much connected. A lot of times, because of posture issues that we have, it will affect our breathing. So if you can lie down on your back, sometimes it tends to put the body in an optimal position where you're not stressing certain postural muscles.
I'm interjecting just because I actually hadn't thought about that with breathing, because when you're standing or even sitting, you still have compression, the muscles. So that would affect breathing.
Absolutely. Everything affects breathing. And breathing affects everything.
Okay.
So I start on the back with the knees bent, and we look at one dimension at a time as you breathe. So the first one is the sense of direction from front to back. So I'll just turn here. Mm-hmm. As you breathe in, there should be, it's not huge, but there is motion from front to back. Mm-hmm. And in order for that to happen, your belly needs to be relaxed, your belly muscles. And the diaphragm, which is responsible for like 80% of the breath, it's a core muscle, core breathing muscle, that needs to move down. Okay. And so what I often see is that it's not moving. Mm-hmm. Right. So if the diaphragm is moving down, there's this front to back motion. So on the inhale, it's this way. On the exhale, it's this way. Mm-hmm. So that's the first dimension that we look at. So it starts with people resting their hands on their belly. Mm-hmm. And then they move their hands out to the sides. Mm-hmm. And then they become more aware of the side-to-side motion of the breath, the lateral aspect of breathing. Yeah. So the ribs move out a little bit to the side on the inhale, and they come back together on the exhale. Mm-hmm. And the front to back stuff is still happening. You're just noticing this more. The waist should fill out a little bit, and you focus on that. And it's centered around this band. Yeah. This is the area that we're focusing on for this breath. And the last one is the length. So breath changes the shape of your torso lengthwise. I don't want to say that it fills your torso lengthwise, because it's just it's filling your lungs, but it causes shape change through the rest of your body. And I could go on about that, but I need skeletons and diagrams and stuff to explain what I'm talking about. But on the inhale, the spine gets longer. The discs between the spine have like more space between them. And the breath can go all the way down into the pelvis. Okay. It should affect your pelvic floor to some extent. We have a lot of pelvic floor dysfunction in our society today, for men and women. And I think a lot of it is tied to the breath. So that's the last part, that there's this shape change lengthwise. And then you tie it all together so that with every breath, you're aware of that three-dimensional movement that's like a balloon-like quality, filling up, expanding in every direction on the inhale, contracting on the exhale. So once you have that, then we start talking about length of the inhale versus length of the exhale. I want the exhales to be longer than the inhales. Like if you're doing a count, I'd want inhale for the count of 4, exhale to the count of 6.
Okay.
So that's the 3D breathing.
Interesting. You know, this just reminds me of, I was talking with Jordan Schembrun over at Swedish Institute. She teaches a lot of the brain and neuro classes, and I know one of the things she talks about is the effective exercise on the brain and brain structure and all that. But actually, we were also talking about focusing on breath, internal focus versus external focus, and how we're so, as a society, we're generally externally more so focused because we have phones, iPads, computers, whatever, versus actually paying attention to, I don't pay attention to my breathing when I'm not exercising, and even when I am, I'm not sure that I always do. I may or I may not. But sitting here, I've thought about my breathing more today in the past hour than I have, because, you know, it's really interesting though how we can actually focus and make changes intentionally on our breathing, which I think is really powerful, which can lead to changes in other areas, right? Because like you say, everything affects breathing. Breathing affects everything. So if we start with one intention and one focus, which could be our breath, it can affect everything.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Reflexive core strength, your pelvic floor function, and your focus.
This is great. I'm really glad we were able to get together today.
Me too. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much for joining me. And any takeaway message you want to give to the viewers real quick? I'm going to push your website here in a minute too, so I'm going to make sure they see where to go online to find you.
Yeah, I'll just mention my podcast that you mentioned.
Yes, please do. You have some great guests.
Thank you. Thank you. So the podcast is called Yoga and Beyond, and you can find the podcast on my website through a link, and it's also on iTunes. So
that is cool.
Just like you do, I like to learn everything, and I try to talk to all kinds of professionals in movement and manual therapy. So
that's really cool. I know you interviewed Dr. Perry.
Yeah.
He's such a great guy. Jill Miller's coming up. That's going to be awesome. Yeah. I just started checking out her podcasts last month. You got to check them out. They're great. It's awesome. I love that we have this, this community of people. There's you and there's Dr. Perry and all these people who are doing these podcasts, getting these wonderful guests who know so much and can share so much valuable, information to help us. Because for me, it's all about learning, capturing the moment, sharing to help people hopefully improve the quality of their health and their life.
That's what it's all about. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, be sure to check out her website, ArianaYoga.com, and there'll be other links going on the screen here where you can find other stuff that she's doing. So thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Right.
I appreciate your having me on.
It's my pleasure, my honor to have you here.
Likewise.
And folks, thanks for watching. As always, check out sterlinghealthfitness.com. We have interviews with a lot of great people on there. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.